Good morning, y'all. The angle of this looks a little different because you're on the mini tripod that Jerry brought over for me. So I'm trying it out. Um, what I'm going to do right now is make some soup for Friday. Now, this is what I have. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay. Now, that is a great mystery why this is flashing on the camera, but in real life, it is steady and it says off. Okay, this is what I'm going to make in this soup. I have some already picked over and rinsed beans. I've got pinto beans and I've got some black-eyed peas. Now, I'm dumping them right here in my Instant Pot. I've got 2 cups of beef bouillon. And to that, I'll add a cup of water because you really need to have enough liquid to cook your beans in. Now, I've got these potatoes and I cut them in big chunks because they're going to cook faster than your beans are going to cook. Now, I'll set my Instant Pot. I know y'all are crooked. I'll set my Instant Pot at about 30 minutes. You'll notice, per Phyllis, there will be no salt added until the end. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder in here. Put a little bit of onion powder in here. Some pepper. I better use the right side of this pepper. Okay. And just a little bit of olive oil. Just a hair. Okay, so now I'm going to cover my Instant Pot, and trust me, it's not going to be as hard to do as it was when I was making the ribs for Terry. Now let me stir that just a little bit because I added those dry seasonings. Okay, and so the potatoes will serve 2 purposes. One, it's going to be the starch to the protein. Now, beans are starchy too. The other thing is potatoes are supposed to take out some of the gas. What do I care? I'm not going to be out there. I'm just kidding. But they're out in the big outdoors, so maybe it's not such a big deal. But I also have a package of already cooked ground beef. I'm not putting that in now because it's already been cooked once. And so I'll add that at the end. Now, potatoes also can act as a thickener. Whether these will or not, I don't know, but you can use a couple of tablespoons of instant mashed potato flakes or whatever they are, and stir that in at the end, and that will thicken up your soup. Now, let me start this. Start, pressure cook. Okay, so now that is going to take time to build the pressure. And that's the problem I have with the Instant Pot. It may be fast at cooking things, but you have to add in that at least 15 minutes of bringing the pot up to pressure. Where was I? Oh, yes. The 2 things that I need to be able to hand out some soup on Friday, which I did tell some folks that I would be there on Fridays in the early afternoon. Um, I need the containers. They're thick walled and they have a nice tight fitting lid on them. And I need some uh, plastic spoons. Now, I'm also going to make, maybe, I don't know, a half a dozen, maybe 8 sandwiches. I have plenty of bologna to do that. And of course, I've always got peanut butter and jelly. And I'll need to get some bread. So I need bread and containers. Um, I don't mind using less expensive bread. It'll go farther, maybe, or yeah, it will. But the freshness is important. I don't care how inexpensive the bread is, it's okay if it's fresh. So, y'all know I always check the dates on everything. I must say, I don't check the dates on my canned goods. But if somebody gives me canned goods like Terry, oh yeah, that man has given me some stuff that prehistoric. Um, we also know that canned goods are much, they last much longer than their best by date, by a couple of years, even sometimes more, depending on the product. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, and this was told to me by a couple of people. I asked them, do they think folks would be interested in a sack lunch, a bag lunch, or whatever? Now, I'm going to tell you that a lot of times with nonprofits, this is what happens. And it's sad, but it's true. A church group or a youth group will come, and this used to happen where I worked. They will come and they will put together these sack lunches. And usually it was peanut butter and jelly because they lasted longer. You didn't have to worry about them ruining. So they'd make up massive amounts, and they might put one of those little individual packets of some kind of chips in there and a piece of fruit. Then these all get put into these big boxes, and they're all stacked in there. They use the bread that is donated by the grocery stores. And of course, it is not going to be the freshest bread. So these sandwiches on the first layer, the second layer, they get smushed. I mean, they're smushed, you guys. I don't care if you don't have a home. Wouldn't you like to have a sandwich that doesn't look like it's been run over by somebody's car? In my opinion, they could have at least used maybe larger boxes, a better way to store that stuff. And I have seen sack lunches that are old. So, with this little mom and pop thing, we don't have to do that. Now, I am going to need for the sandwiches, I need to get some sandwich bags. I'll use the ones I have, but then I will, when I have to replenish them, I won't spend the money for the Ziploc. I will get the regular, less expensive sandwich bags because the food's going to be eaten that day. And I don't want to make too much. If I make too much soup, that's fine. I can put it in the freezer. I'm sure I could put it in the freezer in those sturdy containers and stack them up in the freezer and then skip a week with that particular soup. So every Friday is not the same thing. And then thaw it out, heat it, and then take it down and serve it. Now, I've already had a couple of people, a gentleman and a lady from last night, that said, if you need some help, I will help you. So, you know, if you just reach out to people, if you just say, oh, by the way, I'm doing a little thing with the homeless, would you like to help me pass out some stuff? Well, you may get a lot of no's, but you're also going to get some yeses. And especially if God's behind you, he's going to provide what is needed. And I totally believe that. So anyway, it is Wednesday. This soup will be tasting really good by Friday. All the flavors will be in there. And hopefully there'll be some folks that will be glad to get it. Oh, and I got to get some plastic spoons. So I'm going to do a little experiment. Oh, and some sandwich bags. I'm out of those. I used to put cookies in them and give them away, and so I'm out of sandwich bags. So you guys can see there are some things that I will put on the Walmart needs list that'll just be like, you know, sandwich bags or lunch bags or some plastic silverware, whatever. We don't really need knives and forks. I'm going to cut the sandwiches in half. And sweetie, I will be careful using these knives, okay? I'll cut the sandwiches in half. The only thing that I'll need is like the tablespoons, the soup spoons. And I'll put those specifically in there. So I love you guys. I was very excited about the response yesterday. And I'm going to do a video that tells you about what happened yesterday. So, talk to you later and do something fun today. Bye now.